Today we're making some amazing crispy calamari rings with garlic mayo, so make sure that you watch the recipe entirely because I have a few tips on how to get this right every single time. Now we've got here 4 calamari tubes, and if you can get them whole with the tentacles, even better, because you're gonna bring more crispiness into your dish. And in terms of prepping them, we're gonna cut them into rings, about 1/4 inch thickness. With the rings ready cut, we're going in with about 200 milliliters of milk. Now whether milk or buttermilk, this is totally up to you, but what I think will matter most is how do we get the dredge for our crispy calamari right. And this is the recipe I follow. I've got here 150 grams of plain all-purpose flour, 50 grams of corn flour, to get some extra crispiness on the calamari and making sure that the coating gets stuck better to the rings. Now talking about crispiness and texture, because I think they're both really important in order to get perfect calamari rings, I've got here 50 grams of polenta flour, and this will bring a slightly different texture to our dish, which is what we want. You can also replace this with semolina flour if you wish. In goes about 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And the baking powder partially helps with the crispiness, but also keeping the mixture nicely aerated. Now in terms of seasoning, we've got here 2 teaspoons of table salt, 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and also half teaspoon of smoked paprika. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I'm a big fan of smoked paprika, and I highly encourage you getting it into this mixture. Now mix everything together until well combined. Now move this aside and let's make a quick and easy garlic mayo, which works perfectly with the calamari, so make sure that you don't skip it. Now we have here 3 tablespoons of mayo. You can use shop-bought, you can use homemade, totally up to you. Now to this we are going with 1 clove of garlic. If you want more garlic, obviously add more, but for the amount of mayo we've got here, it should be more than enough. In goes a pinch of salt and a pinch of freshly ground black pepper. To this I'm also adding a teaspoon of sriracha sauce because I want a bit of heat in there, but this is totally optional. Parsley or dill, they work really well with seafood in general. In this situation I'm adding just a touch of dill, and not just for the flavor, but also it looks better from presentation point of view. Now for frying, let's set the pan on high heat. And to this we're going with a good amount of oil, whichever that might be. Just make sure that it's neutral flavor so it doesn't influence the taste of your calamaris. Now while the oil is getting to about 180 degrees Celsius, which is about 350 Fahrenheit, we're gonna get the rings into the flour mixture. Just make sure you drain them properly, and you might want to go in 2 batches so they don't get overcrowded. And make sure that they get well coated into this mixture all the way around. And to obtain some extra texture, you can even get a few drops of milk. Now when the oil is hot enough, which in order to check it, the best way is using a probe thermometer. If you don't have one, I'm gonna leave an affiliate link down below. It's not gonna cost you anything extra, but at least you're gonna get your oil perfectly hot every single time. And now we're gonna place in the calamaris using a tweezer, a kitchen tweezer. Again, if you don't have one, affiliate link down below. And try not to overcrowd the pan, because otherwise the calamaris won't have enough space to cook evenly. And we are to cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes, or until they get nice and golden brown in color. Once they get nice and golden brown in color, remove them from the heat and put them on a rack, so all that excess oil goes to the bottom. Add salt as soon as we get them off the heat, and serve them immediately with the garlic mayo that we prepared earlier. And if you enjoyed this simple recipe, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more simple recipes like this.